This is Biker Dad, brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Have you ever sat at your job and thought, what if I just got up and left? Tell that horrible boss to take this job and shove it. Have you ever wanted to just walk out? What about burnout? Well, that's exactly what I did, but I didn't just quit. I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell your story.
Daytona Beach, Florida, where you can actually drive onto the beach. Rick Fairless, a legend of his own, introduced me to Richard Rollins, Mayfield, Kentucky. Southeast Missouri, beautiful city of Knoxville, Tennessee. Gulf Coast of Mississippi, the Florida coast and the Tampa Bay area, Orange County Choppers, Roadhouse and Museum, talking to Paul Tuttle Sr. himself.
But make no mistake, this is not a show about motorcycles or even about me. Instead, I travel across the country to meet the people who use their passion for motorcycles to make their communities stronger, safer, and better. This is Biker Dad.
A lot of bikers say they ride to live, and one guy really lived that motto. And years after this young man's death, a man lost way too early. Hundreds of bikers gather every year to honor his memory and do good.
I'm Scott Maddox. I'm the owner and general manager of Smoky Mountain Harley-Davidson in Maryville, Tennessee. We're having our 6th annual Cannonball run as a memorial for Sean Summerfield and to create awareness around motorcycling, riding in the Great Smoky Mountain area. We also raised money for a scholarship fund in his name, the Sean Summerfield Scholarship. Well, Sean was a great kid. He started working with us when he was 15 years old. He died early. I think he was 23 years old when he died. Just a super creative motorcyclist. He started in our wash bay, became a real instrumental figure within our shop, was real involved in our scramblers, which we were building back in 2012, but later evolved into becoming a Pan America motorcycle. He's really involved in building choppers and custom motorcycles. Just a real inspiring little kid, much wiser than his years. He was an old soul.
So he built that chopper up there?
Yeah, sure did. I don't know. I haven't seen the final numbers that came in, but hopefully that's our goal, is to keep the Cannonball Run growing every year. It's a fantastic event. Well, we do it every year. We always do it in the month of April. If you check out our website at smh-d.com, we'd love to have people come and participate.
Andrew Earl, and they call me Sack. This event is mainly to get funds to bring back the dogs that are abandoned by our government overseas. It takes about $2,000 to bring one back, and a lot of the dogs are just left after their contract runs out, and they're left overseas to fend for themselves. They either euthanize them or just let them go. I adopted one of the dogs 3 years ago, Max. That's how I found out about it. I've always wanted to do it, and then I really got involved in it, done a lot of research, and found out what is exactly going on with the dog. There's two kinds of dogs. There's a military working dog, which belongs to the military, and they bring those back. But then there's what they call contract working dogs that are left over there, and they're actually contracted to the government. So it's pretty pitiful. Like my Max, they worked him 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for 7 years. And that's why he's not here now, because he has medical issues because of that. So it's pretty pitiful when they use them like that and throw them away like garbage.
I'm Trek with the Punchers Watchdog chapter. We're located up in the Atmore, Alabama area. We're all out here at the top of the bay in Daphne, Alabama, the Spanish Fort area. We're doing a ride for the canine, combat canines. Coastal chapter are the ones that's headed up over this, and we're here to show support and let everybody come out.
Punishers are a law enforcement motorcycle club. We're all about doing for others and in service to others and helping our community and doing things of this nature. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but it's the best chapter around. We've got an awesome brotherhood.
Punishers is a law enforcement military club, and it's most composed of law enforcement, firefighters, military, first responders, and like-minded individuals. The motto we have is in service to others, where we reach out to the community and try to raise money for a good cause and just give back to the community. And the Punishers got started several years ago. I have a New York chapter up around Rochester. Our international president, John Boyd, he started the Punishers, and it's grown tremendously since. We're looking at probably, on average, over 2,000 members. And in the state of Alabama alone, we're sitting at probably 10 or 11 chapters. We got about 6 or 7 different countries involved as well. I joined back in 2016, and when my chapter got started, I started off as a vice president and now I'm president.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I got some awesome brothers in my chapter that have stepped up and helped me with this. All the other chapters, there's probably at least a dozen other organizations here riding this and being a part of it. I want to thank everybody for being here. When this is all over, I'm going to be going to Magnolia, Texas to take the money to the actual organization and present it to them.
I'm Warren from Minnesota, ride a road glide. We're riding across the country here. We're doing the I-10 to the end. We went from Minnesota to Memphis to Jacksonville. Now we're headed to San Diego right now.
Santa Monica Pier.
And then head back home. It's about 5,800 miles, and we're gonna do it. We started on Friday morning. We stopped in Memphis for a day, and then we headed down to Jacksonville. I tried to do it in 3 days, but one guy had a flat tire, and then we just met this random guy on the road in his shift linkage.
I'm Solo. Solo Rider is my nickname, a biker name. Originally from Texas, but I've been living in Minnesota for 20 years, and I just ride. We just like to ride, be in all 48 states. We like to travel, see things, meet new people. My girlfriend is his cousin, so it just happened like that. Yep.
It's just fun, just going to different places, seeing new things, and then just the biker community, whoever you meet, white or black, everybody's just cool, and they have a love of riding, Some people like to ride to the grocery store, to the bar, but when you get on the highway, it's just a different world.
It's a group called
Iron Elite, and they've done this. It's called an experiment.
A social experiment.
And that's how it kind of got started. And people have done it before us, and I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen people doing it, and he said, shoot, I think we could do that. And we hit him up, and he said, come on down. And we was rolling. We thought we was gonna knock it out in 2 days, but that's not happening.
So basically, the I-10 challenge, you have to basically stay on I-10. You can't get off.
You get off, you gotta get back on.
If you gotta get back on at the same place, and it's a challenge because you got the weather, road construction, breakdown. So it's very interesting.
We've done the East Coast, the West Coast.
Yeah.
Went all the way up to Maine, went up to Washington State, Utah, Montana. Seen more deer riding on the highway. They call it a deer alley. Some road in Montana. We get to the hotel and they say, yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen that many deer in my life. I live in Minnesota, where I thought I'd seen a lot of deer. Montana is another world. Yeah. Our plan was initially to stop in Texas, make it into Texas as far as we could until we got tired, but we had a 4-hour slowdown with this flat tire because we got the Harley. They only had one mechanic on staff, but that was the only Harley around that was open.
Right.
And we found another shop that kind of, they do work on Harleys and stuff. So we bought the tires there, and the guy from his shop was just happened to be up there, and he picked them up, brought them in the shop, and popped them on.
Just enjoy life, enjoy a ride, and hey, keep the rope beside there,
Thousands of innocent bikers are injured and even killed on our streets and highways in the United States every year. And far too often, we don't get the justice we deserve, even if we did absolutely nothing wrong.
So how do you find the help you need? People who are ready to go to the mat and get justice for you? Just go to bikerjusticeusa.com to find a list of lawyers across the United States who are trusted by me, Biker Dad. Cottonmouth Customs in Pensacola is building awesome bikes, and they're also building a reputation as one of the great bike builders. The shop in Pensacola offers custom bikes, service, and tons of used parts. The mini museum of beautiful vintage bikes is worth the visit alone. I want to personally thank Cottonmouth Customs for supporting the Biker Dad show and making our dream of riding motorcycles and telling stories possible. Hi there, this is Chris Best, the Biker Dad. I'm just here to let you know that myself and the hundreds of thousands of people who follow us on social media and watch the TV show are here to help. Do you need help with something? Give me a call. That's my number right there, 251-402-6392. Especially if you need legal help, I have an army of lawyers across the country who can help you with injuries after motorcycle crashes especially, but other stuff like crime and everything else too. So give me a call, 251-402. Hi there, this is Chris Best, the Biker Dad. I'm just here to let you know that myself and the hundreds of thousands of people who follow us on social media and watch the TV show are here to help. Do you need help with something? Give me a call. That's my number right there, 251-402-6392. Especially if you need legal help, I have an army of lawyers across the country who can help you with injuries after motorcycle crashes especially, but other stuff like crime and everything else too. So give me a call, 251-402-6392. Our Back on Two stories are brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
Hi, my name is Clayton Kling. It was a little over 2 years ago now. I was working on a friend of mine's motorcycle, just got it done. She's only been riding for about 4 months. And I was like, I'll take the bike for a test ride, it's getting dark. She goes, no, I'll take it for a ride. I was like, no. I said, what happens if this is a bad part? Headlights go out, the bike stalls on you. First couple words out of her mouth was, yeah, no, you're not riding it. So I took it. It was in Conway in a housing development. I was going down the road. Next thing I know, I went to make a wide right-hand turn. Right there stood a deer. Then I locked up the brake. It was too close to the curb. Jumped it 3 times, landed in a retaining pond. Well, I swam out of the pond, went to stand up, and couldn't stand. Had my foot cut off, a piece of bone out of my hip, my lower back was broke, basically crushed my rib cage, a few other head injuries. The woman across the pond, she was down here on vacation visiting her mom. They heard me hollering for help. She's the one that actually saved my life. She was luckily, somehow or another, a trauma nurse. She knew how to put the foot back on to make the bleeding stop. I don't know what you'd call it, luck. But they try putting my foot back on because they always try and save a limb if they can. I dealt with that for probably about a year, and they wanted to do more surgeries because my ankle died, bones in my foot died, and I'm like, no more surgeries because I'd end up with a club foot with all the pain. So I said, just take it. So I'm a voluntary amputee. Oh, it's a world of difference. You learn how to walk with it. You learn how to take showers different. The goodness, from where I'm originally from, I used to drive farm equipment, so I'm used to driving with both feet. So me switching over to driving with my left foot was no big deal. Yeah, I had a couple of friends help me through it. The one motorcycle I wrecked was hers. She let me move in with her, and over 6 months in a wheelchair, dealing with all that, yeah, she helped out quite a bit, so yeah. Well, I just got reacquainted with my daughter. I haven't seen her in many years. So me and her getting reacquainted. Then my current wife now, that's pretty much about it. Actually, my dad got me into it whenever I was little. Always loved bikes, and I've been riding since I've been, 5, 6 years old. The last one I rode was a 2012 Harley-Davidson Dyna Super Glide. Went and I looked at a motorcycle. It's a 1998 Harley-Davidson Y-Glide. And you know, I wanted to make sure I could hold it up with my prosthetic, no problems. It's light enough. I don't think I'm having any problems. I'm gonna modify the peg a little bit so my foot stays on it, but yeah. So on the plate, come up to hold my foot in place. It's gonna go across where the heel is and then come up. So my foot cannot go it while I'm riding. It'll just stay right there. I'll have a little heel guard come up, and my foot will stay just like that. Passion, it's way of life. I love it. As much as I've been through, I don't know, I'm not gonna stop. The freedom, the way everything feels, I mean, just, if you need to clear your mind, just get on the bike and go and just get a clear, free head from it. By the time you're done, you just feel good.
This is Biker Dad, brought to you by the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
I had a group from Mobile Bay, Harley Davidson in Mobile, Alabama, on about an hour and a half ride to get here to Fruitdale. And what they did here is they wanted to let people know, A, about these two little biker-friendly businesses, but also they're here to help the community and help bikers too. And also had a strong message about their faith and how that plays into the biker world.
We're all dealing with stuff, and we all know that Jesus is the ultimate Savior, and He can do everything, but He sends us to be His hands and feet.
Hey, Corey Tate here with Fruitdale Corner Store in Fruitdale, Alabama, and Fruitdale Hellfighters Prospect Unit. We just decided to have this thing called Fruitdale Destination Fruitdale Ride. Just a day to throw together some free food, ice cream, and prizes and fellowship in the love of Christ. And got in touch with Biker Dad and a few more in the community, and just, hey, people converged on Fruitdale, a little hole in the wall town in southwest Alabama.
I'm glad y'all came out, came and be part of this. We're glad to come and support something you may have going on. If you have a need in your community, reach out to us. We'll support however we can. Romans 8:28, my favorite verse in the whole entire Bible. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose.
Just a safe destination to stop on the highway. We have travelers coming from way up north down to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach and traveling back through to Memphis. Just a heavy Highway 45's got a lot of traffic on it. We got the cleanest bathroom on Highway 45. The barbecue place opened about 6 months ago. We just see a revitalization coming along in Fruitdale, where 100 years ago there was motels and banks and a railroad and depots, and it just, through the change of commerce, it slowly faded away, but we see it building back up now, and it's just awesome to be part of.
Anything and everything that you may be battling, anything and everything that may be coming against you, or may even be for you, whenever you begin to see the goodness of Jesus Christ, things begin to turn around. The smile begins to come on your face. The joy begins to return in your life. where we keep our heart and soul focused on Jesus Christ, crucified and resurrected. For such a day as this. For such a day as this.
Fat Matty's definitely lived up to his name. If I eat too much of it, I'm going to be Fat Chris again. So I got to be a little bit careful, but it was fantastic. If you're riding somewhere in the South and it happens to take you down Highway 45, stop at this little wide spot in the road right here in Fruitdale, Alabama, and say hi to the folks at Fat Matty's and across the street at the little Fruitdale store too.
Upstate Biker Lawyer. We're working with Biker Down.
Yes, we are. We're so
Montoya.
honored to be. I think today we're here for the Veterans Outreach in
Harrisburg,
Pennsylvania.
He's from Colorado.
I'm from Denver. So, yeah, this is a great program. This program provides tiny homes for veterans that are homeless, but does more than put a Band-Aid on it. It gives them a program to get them back into society and self-sufficient. So we couldn't be more grateful that you brought us out here for this event. And tomorrow we're going to be hosting that accident scene management class. And if you haven't taken the accident scene management class, please go to Upstate Biker Lawyer, call Tom or Christine, sign up. There's nothing more you can do for the riders that you ride with than have that kind of training that in the event of an accident, you are prepared to render the proper first aid. How many people do you think you guys have trained this year?
Several hundred.
Several hundred. Yeah. Imagine that. When you go down, nobody knows what to do. Because of you, several hundred now know how to render the proper first aid. And I couldn't be more grateful for you doing that.
Thank you very much.
So remember, if you go down, Biker Down steps up. And if you need really good representation, please go to Upstate Biker Lawyer here.
I'd like you to tell us about Biker Down.
Biker Down helps injured motorcycle riders with recovery after an accident. As many of you know, there is accident scene management, which you guys sponsor, and then there is a big gap in the middle where your lawyer is trying to get you recovery and then settlement. And what Biker Down does is we kind of fill in the gap in the middle. We try to give you financial strategy in a lot of ways to keep your nose above water and stay afloat. We do that through medical equipment. We do it through financial strategy, but I believe in getting you the best of the best lawyers. And here in New York and Pennsylvania, it is Tom with Upstate Biker Lawyer.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.
to live, live to ride. Rides and ribs, bikes and barbecue. It's a combination I know I can't resist. We are in Ocean Springs, Mississippi for this edition of Ride to Eat. Eat to live, live to ride. Let's go inside and check it out.
My name is Mark Jenkins. I'm the president of the Blue Knights Mississippi Chapter 2. Tonight we solidified the rib crib. They're more than gracious to be one of our stops. Blue Knights are retired and active law enforcement officers. The Blue Knights International, we have 650 chapters in 29 countries. We are roughly 20,000 plus members strong. We are the largest chapter in Mississippi of the Blue Knights. There's 650 throughout the country, and we are international in 29 countries. We do things to raise money for the community, especially with our own community. Our specific chapter raises money primarily for the Center for Nonviolence, the Women's Shelter, and Bugs, which makes bicycles for children who have special needs. We do Wounded Warriors of Mississippi.
Yeah, we try to hang out with these guys, you know, and help them out. They help us out with our poker runs and things like that.
So how long have you been doing the poker run?
This will be our 7th annual. We don't do a poker run for any one particular cause. We raise money to donate to all of our charities, not just one. Because we can raise probably about $5,000, give or take, and we deplete that money back into the charities, into the local community. Red Cross is national. We don't do Red Cross. We don't do a lot of the national. We like to keep the money that we raise. Ribs, Lord, they just literally, you know, you hear people, they fall off the bone. These literally fell off the bone. The sauce is phenomenal. A buddy of mine that was eating that spud, that potato, it was mounted. It looked like the size of a baby's head. It was huge. You know, there's a lot of places that don't really law enforcement friendly, and to have someone more welcoming than most, it's greatly appreciated.
Food was great. You know, it's a good place to eat. Well, I don't think it's so much the food as it is the company and the camaraderie. You know, people with like minds that like to ride motorcycles and like to do stuff for their community. You know, but what it all comes down to mostly is getting together to ride.
That's it for this week's episode of the Biker Dad TV show. Until next time, please look twice for motorcycles.